And this part did make me laugh when Saeris was like, she calls Oreos as an anemic looking fucker. But it's crazy to me that you disliked Fourth Wing more than this. I'm just like, but okay.
Yeah, I do.
I
I like
just-
this more than Fourth Wing.
I think
I am
that's
not as
insane.
frustrated when I tell you that every page, and when I say he goes apeshit, I mean he goes apeshit.
Yes, he does.
Starts killing any and every guard. He makes
On the
a
way.
huge scene. Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Ale.
And I'm Carla, and this is Booked and Buzzin'.
From bestseller to hidden gems, we're going to be sharing our thoughts, reviews, and all the latest buzz in the book world.
Today we're going to be doing our chapter 20 through 30 analysis, read along.
Yep. 21 to 30.
Oh yeah, 21 to 30.
Right?
My bad.
Yeah.
Yes. We finished 11 to 20 last time.
Yes.
So this is 21 to 30. Sorry,
Yep.
my bad.
Brimstone. Deep dive. So join us with our vodka seltzer again, because that's what we're going to do for January.
I know, look, I'm sorry. I know we keep being like, I promise next time. This is coming to an end. It's a lot going on right now. I know we said that for October and November and December and now January. just bear with us, okay? We're going to get back into like having a set again with
Yes.
props.
Yes.
I think that our channel has been changing. We've been
Definitely.
finding our groove in different things.
Definitely.
So our attention has been going more to like that shift, and the drinks and the props have been
a little missing.
But look, here's the thing too. We're filming more often than we used to.
This is true.
So we may, I guess it depends on what you guys like too. I was thinking maybe we do props for like our overview, long
That's a
form.
good idea. Like our
This is
recap.
long also. Yeah, our recap.
Yeah.
With a like
like
themed
that.
drink. But I don't know. I guess if you have any opinions, if there's something you like seeing, if you like seeing all the props all the time, let us know.
Yep.
But yeah, this is a process. I promise the drinks will get more creative.
Yep.
Just not right now.
But I feel like it's just, we're also enjoying this right now.
Yeah.
But because I feel like we were saturated with like holiday drinks and stuff, and we just wanted to get straight to the point.
Yeah, we needed to be clean for a
Yeah.
little bit because
With vodka.
it's been a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
A lot of
So, and I
mixer
got really
stuff.
into sugary stuff at one point with like the drinks of like the earth and like the passion, no sé qué.
Yeah,
So,
I think the problem is, I don't like sugar cocktails.
yeah,
Do you?
I like them.
I don't.
But I also don't. I like spicy ones too. I just like cocktails.
I like a clean, crisp drink, and I'm not a bartender, so
Yeah.
I can't make those well.
Yeah.
But what I can make really well is a vodka seltzer.
I can make those spicy ones pretty well.
You
like
can.
That spicy margarita.
Yes.
We might have
Oh,
to.
we gotta
we're
bring
gonna
that
bring
bitch
that one
back.
back. Yep.
Oh man, you,
one was
you just
so
made me
good.
start salivating.
Yeah, that one was good.
You're giving me FOMO.
We'll get it next time. So, anyways, the idea for today is we're just gonna kind of go through our reading notes.
Yeah.
And recently, I've been kind of more piggyback on your notes because we share pretty similar views on a lot of things. But this time around, I was angry.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
red part of my mic. So, I actually went back and wrote my own notes of things that I definitely need to talk about.
I love that. I also want to just preface this episode by letting you guys know we are at different points in the book. Okay. So obviously we've read 21 to 30.
Yeah.
I just want to preface with I'm frustrated and annoyed where I am. And I can't remember when that started for me. For you, it started now because you got the red on.
Yeah, I would say that for me, it started.
I think I know when it started for me. I just have to read it. Okay,
I think honestly, mine started around. I think around the last sex scene, the cabin scene. Like the cabin.
Okay.
Sorry. So for me, it started around like the cabin scene, like the cabin sex scene.
Yeah.
Like I read that and I was just like, the purpose of this is why, and I don't want it. I just felt like there was so much potential to what they should have shared at the cabin because they were in different worlds. And all I got is like blood sucking sex.
So I don't want to say this now because I really want to like take you guys through the book as I read it.
Yeah.
But there was a shift for me where I was like, you're doing too much to Callie Hart. Oh, let me see if it happens anytime soon. No, it happens in 30 to 31 to 40. So the next episode, but I'll just say like I'm already like, okay, you know, which sucks because I was really excited for the potential and the possibilities in this book.
You know, what's interesting is that I wasn't at first, and then I gave Quicksilver another shot, and I'm like, wow, there's actually a lot more potential. And this makes me feel like I should have never given Quicksilver a second shot.
There we go.
It just does. Like, I don't, and again, here's the thing. I feel like I want to be very clear. This is no hate towards the author when I say this, because I think that we've been very fair in the majority of in all our reviews of all the books we've read. I feel like there are things that authors hit really well, and there's things that authors don't hit well, and that changes for everybody. Everybody has different opinions. But there is a difference between, okay, I'm not looking for classic writing over here, but when your characters are becoming dull to me or annoying, and I don't think that was your purpose, that's when I have like what is it? What is me being annoyed by the story or the progression of the plot versus the writing?
I think there's a difference. I've read books, not this one. I think I really do like the way Callie writes, which is part of why I find it disappointing when she doesn't live up to the expectations that I have for her. But I think I've read books in the past where I'm like, the way that this author writes is making me want to throw myself out a window. Like I cannot. And I'm not even referencing Rebecca Yarros because like I have literally read
That's how I didn't say that.
because I knew you were thinking it.
I mean,
but I will say she does give me a very similar feeling where I'm just like, I really don't like how you like the tone of your writing is not for me.
yeah.
There are authors where I'm just like, it's like, and I'm not, this is not Ernest Hemingway, but I'm saying like Ernest Hemingway has a specific way of writing. It's very choppy, right?
Yep.
That's one way to read. If you don't like that style, it's different. But if you don't like that style, it's kind of something like that. I think every author has a tone. I think there's some authors that have great tone, but they lack in plot or they lack in the capacity to flesh out a story, or they lack in like, for example, Light Lark. I like it. It's entertaining. The end. It's not profound. It's not deep. It's Light Lark. I didn't connect to any of the characters. It was an entertaining short read for me. I liked how she wrote. I was like, you write in a way, in a tone that I can stand. When the Moon Hatched, it took me some time to get there with that writing because I was confused a lot because she's a very lyrical writer.
I like that writing more than any of the other books that we've talked about.
I really like how Callie Hart writes, especially when she paints a scene for me. Love that about her. But I think that she really, I think she struggles from I think she struggles from a syndrome similar to Rebecca Yarros, which is like, these characters are cool and you have to like them. instead of like,
let me tell you about these characters and help
instead
you
of a, you're going to fall
form
in
your
love with
own
this
opinion.
character.
Exactly.
Let's watch their journey. Like the queen, Sarah J. Maas, where Feyre in the first book to me was so fucking stupid. I literally DNF'd the first book, my first read around, because of that.
You know what's funny? I picked up the first book of Akatar, and I left it halfway.
Same.
And then I went back, and I'm glad I went through the whole journey. Like, it's still a really great series.
Yeah.
It's not the best to me, though.
It's not, but
It's not. It's entertaining, and I fell in love with the characters. But definitely better at capturing my attention than any other series I've read.
what
since.
I'll say is that SJM can flesh a character out, because you can't tell me that
is
Aelin,
so
Ash River,
true.
Galathinius is not fleshed the fuck out. And Aelin
So true.
in Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and then I read Assassin's Blade. In those two, I was like, I get it. You're cool. I get it. I was like, okay, Selena, you don't care about anyone. I get it. Wow, you're so edgy and badass. Then I read Assassin's Blade and I was like, oh. Then I read Air of Fire and I was like, oh. And then I like fell in love with her in Air of Fire, because I was like, wow, you are fucked up and you have a reason to be so.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel like Rebecca Yarros and Callie Hart both suffer from this character is cool because they're cool and I say so syndrome.
Yeah.
Whereas like they've tried to say like, oh, Saeris is so amazing because like she's a badass. So like Saeris, in the book they mention how like, I don't know if it's Carrion or if it's Fisher who talk about like, oh, everything she's been through, she's so resilient. And they talk about her past without talking about her past and how she is overcome so much and la la la. And it's like, you didn't take me through that journey. So you saying it is not enough for me. I just feel like,
what have you gone through? And we know that you've gone through everything that everybody else back home has gone through.
Right. But the point is like, even Kingfisher, like we know Kingfisher's been through stuff, right? I don't feel that though. Like
No.
when you read Air of Fire, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but when you read Air of Fire, you literally see Selena Aelin in the mud.
Yep.
You see her, I can like smell the depression off of her while I was reading.
Yep.
You don't have to go that far. Harry Potter in Order of the Phoenix. He is such an asshole. He is so angry. And it's like he's treating his friends like shit. Yeah. He's angry with everyone.
He doesn't trust anybody.
And he's like, for me, it's not a hard read at all. But I can see how people can read that and be like, bro, it's hard to read you this book because you're just being such a dick. And then towards the end, he's like, I mean, I was literally brought up for slaughter. And like, you won't even look at me, to Dumbledore. And he's like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Like, this fucking sucks. And as the reader, you read that and you're like, yeah. Moments like that help you connect to a character.
100%.
You can't just tell me this character is a badass because I say so. You have to show me.
Yep.
And so I don't feel that connection with any of the characters. I don't feel it with Kingfisher. I don't feel it with Saeris. And I know you see Kingfisher and Saeris go through things acutely in the books, but like I
don't think so.
Very slightly. Kingfisher with his Quicksilver and the madness, and Saeris
you
with...
You mean the one that was solved within the first book?
That's the thing. It took...
nothing.
5 minutes to solve their problems in terms of like...
You know what drives me crazy? And again, this is not going to be something that I have to necessarily talk about right now, but I will. I think what I mean by that is I think when we do the whole book recap, I think I'll spend a little bit more time on it. But it bothers me so much that when we first meet Kingfisher, it's a high stakes. He's at high stakes of losing his shit. He's at high stakes of like dying crazy and not being around, to the point where after they meet or whatever, like that they accept their bonding or whatever, he leaves her in Quicksilver to sacrifice himself because he's like, I'm gonna die from this Quicksilver anyways. And then she goes to, and then the whole thing in Quicksilver happens, and then magically Telena and Isabel or whatever her name is fixed it. I'm like,
I agree. That pissed me off. I just feel like the only character that I've seen any depth to is Carrion in this book, because he starts talking about, this is why I am the way I am. I've lost everyone. Like, and you see him like talking to a hallucination,
yeah,
and like it starts to be, he starts opening his layers, right? Whereas Saeris, it's just kind of like,
I mean, Carrion is honestly the only character I tolerate, if I'm being honest.
I like Lorith, and I really like Carrion.
Yeah.
Lorith is cool though, even though in this book he's kind of like giving me a little
Annoying.
bit of a bad taste. And yeah, it's mostly the bullshit that they're doing in
The blood court.
Amaranthium, because I'm like, how reckless.
Can you just stop being so rude?
How reckless. You don't want to be here, then don't be here. If you have to be here, lock yourself in a room or something. Like, stop going into the town and looking for problems.
It's just driving me crazy the way that they're acting.
So let's pick up on chapter 21.
Yep, you go ahead, because I actually don't think I have any notes on that one.
Okay, I think 21 was a pretty simple chapter. Fisher wakes up after that like sex dream or whatever, and finds that the wounds that he had because of the fight with the demon scorpion have mended, and that the dream transferred to real life, because in the dream she was healing him. So we find out that essentially they can fall asleep, and whatever they do to each other in the dream
Is real.
it happens in real life.
Okay.
Carrion gives him clothes, and Fisher sees all the drawings Carrion has done of Ivelia, and they kind of have like a little bit of a discussion about that. This is when you start opening the doors of Carrion's mind, I guess.
Yeah.
And he starts slightly opening himself, and he's really not that guarded. And you kind of start seeing like, okay, so there is depth to Carrion. Like, he has all of these pictures in his room about Avelia, a place that he's been taught and told about, but really has no concept of.
Yeah.
Chapter 22 is boring, because who is
Not
it?
only is it boring, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody that's going to see our videos is like, why is Alejandra always saying the word annoying? I am constantly annoyed at certain parts of this book.
Well, they just have to go watch anything about Fourth Wing, and that switches. So go ahead.
But it's crazy to me that you disliked Fourth Wing more than this. I'm just like, but okay.
Yeah, I do.
I
like
just-
this more than Fourth Wing.
I think
I am
that's
not
insane.
as frustrated when I tell you that every page was difficult for me in Fourth Wing. I'm saying every page and every paragraph.
I just think that you're wrong.
I think you're wrong. I think you need to reread
I think
Fourth
that
Wing with a better scope of who Violet is.
I mean, but Violet is annoying, but the
Violet
rest
is
of
the narrator.
You can't, like, Carla,
Yeah.
you cannot tell me that Violet in Fourth Wing is worse than this.
Absolute. In Fourth Wing, in Iron Flame, and in Onyx Storm, she's worse than this. In every book. You're gonna sit there and with a straight fucking face tell me that Iron Flame Violet is not worse than this? Saeris has moments where she's literally, and we've said this, an empty vessel for you to follow the story.
Not
on.
moments. That's my problem at all times.
Right. Well, because she's an empty vessel, which gives like absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's annoying. But are you getting constant dialogue from her that's pissing you off? No. Is that what you're getting from Violet? All 3 books? Yes.
I don't think so.
You're wrong.
I think you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Because here's the thing about Saeris. It's not just an empty vessel. It's you get the empty vessel and then you get, this is important to us. This is great for us.
Right. And
Just
fucking Violet thinks
stupid.
everything is important, and she thinks everything is her right to make a decision on, and she thinks that her will is the only will. So
They could both be shitty characters.
she's
but
shittier.
She's shittier.
No.
Saeris
No.
is totally
You are
shittier. You are
very
like,
far off
totally
on that one.
crazy.
No.
Anyways,
So chapter 22.
this is our next Hunger Games.
Dude, I will die on this hill. Violet is the literal most annoying character that I've read in all of 2025.
Saeris is still mine.
2024, actually, and 2025.
Yeah, because he started in December of 2020.
I'm honestly, of all the books I've read, I think she takes the cake.
I have to think about it, but I think you're wrong.
I think I'm right.
But anyways,
So,
in chapter 22,
chapter 22,
fucking Saeris, I think the only thing that I would want to point out here is that as Saeris walks into the library, she starts playing with the paper birds and whatnot. But at this point, Foley kind of tells them, that they may seem harmless, but they're not. Because they could take a piece of her hair that can be used for many nefarious purposes. And in the wrong hands, a single strand of hair can be a male or female's undoing.
Let's talk about this for a second. It pisses me off that in this book, everything is so sensitive. Like, your scent is sensitive, so it's like there's literally no privacy. Yep. And then also, so you're telling me that I should just shave my fucking head then? Yep. Because for the rest of my life, which is endless essentially in this world, if the wrong person gets a strand of my hair, my life is over?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Yep. I know. And it also gives me kind of like this perspective where it's constantly, not only do you have to like be careful about everything that you do, but everything means nothing.
What do you mean?
Because if everything is an issue, then no one's safe.
That's the thing. It's like,
then basically you guys are all going around
like, how many
and not giving a
enemies does
shit.
Kingfisher have, and nobody has ever gotten a strand of his hair, and he has long hair?
Probably like thousands. And nothing's happened to him.
So, like, okay, here's one of my issues with, and I'm not here yet in the journey, right? On chapter 22, I'm not feeling this way yet, but it starts not too long after this, where I'm like, you're introducing a lot of elements, like, new, like, at first it's exciting, because it's like, oh, every chapter something's happening, but then it's like, I'm getting to a point where it's like, okay, and what else? What else now?
Well, I'm glad you got here, because that's how I've always felt from the very beginning. You're just dropping a lot of shit that you think is important and is not leading anywhere. It's not leading anywhere.
Well, okay, I'm not done with the book, so I can't tell you where things lead.
No, even here. Like, why is it that okay, let's say, look at this. I'm on chapter 22. There is 50 chapters. I'm basically halfway through the book. Mm-hmm. Nothing has led up to anything.
Yeah, my thing is just that, like, I think she was trying to make the book too exciting. Because in Quicksilver, I think there was critiques that it lulled at a certain point. And so every chapter is literally something is happening. It's a new revelation. It's a new piece of information. It's a new element to add to the problem, or it's a new potential solution or not solution or whatever. And it's kind of just like, okay, so let's focus on one thing right now, though.
Yeah.
And also, like, let's flesh this out. Let's flesh out her fucking, like, stealing her shit, or like, let's flesh. And then it's like, one thing gets solved, now it's the next problem. And it's like, it just feels like, what is the central theme?
What is the point here? I'm glad you asked. What is it? We don't know.
Well, all right, we're on 22. So let's
but
talk
right
about
now we don't know, because we have these feeders that should be the central theme, and yet she's I don't know what she's doing. She's just eating shit.
It's just, okay, I'll say this. The bird thing. I was like, okay, so this is going to be a problem then. The hair thing, right?
Which is fine. Like, there may be some foreshadowing there. I'm down for that.
I just mean, like, and I'm trying to not go into 31 to 40 because I want for whoever's watching this to just get the chapters that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And not spoil anything in case, you're on chapter like 31, literally, or 34, like I said. But I just feel like I've seen already that there will be like, okay, there's this new problem. And then it just kind of like goes nowhere,
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, well, it actually wasn't a problem. But just so you know, it could have been a problem. But it wasn't. But it could have been. And it's like, okay, but you're giving me a lot of that. And we're still not. And like, where is the concern over like some crazy shit like these fucking human vampires?
Correct.
Where's the concern over that? Like, we were worried they went to Zilverin. They're trying to get the gold and shit.
Yeah.
But like, why is this not bringing alarm bells? Like, why are we all not focusing?
Is it even something she asks Kingfisher during the dream? Hey, do you have any leads on the feeders?
I don't think she does.
No, she doesn't. Because she's useless.
Yeah, and the cabin sex was the limit for me in terms of pointless sex.
Well.
I was already there before that, but that to me, I was like, we've reached new levels of bullshit.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, this was not only unnecessary, but just like intentionally, like it was there to just
pointless.
Add more sex. That's literally the only point of that.
Just find a way to meet them up and...
Which there's already been scenes of that. And
Many.
It's frustrating because, and I know we've talked about this, but it's frustrating because you are a queen and you keep sneaking away to have sex with your boyfriend. You are a queen. You need to focus on shit. And you keep sneaking away through this little portal to play house in Kalish as if there's not literal pandemonium going on with the world.
Yep. Exactly. I'm so glad that you are on the same page with me.
Yeah.
And how absolutely much more annoying she is than Violet.
No, wrong.
Anyways.
So anyways, you were saying?
So one of the themes here for me during this chapter is I do dislike most of, if not all, Saeris' chapters, but also Foley, annoying as well.
Yeah, so annoying.
So annoying. The back and forth between them in this chapter is almost like Foley wants to play the I had it harder than you. It's unattractive. It's annoying again.
It's giving Are You in Love with Kingfisher?
Actually. I didn't think about that, but...
It's not... Yeah. I didn't think that he was, but I was just like, dude, why are you so salty that I'm with him?
Yeah. Yep. And we also find out that he never received any of the letters from his pack or Kingfisher.
Right.
So, I mean, that's sad, but also, like, you're annoying.
Who cares? But yeah, we find that out, and then they kind of are like, no, seriously, we have been trying to write to you. And then he just doesn't believe them, which I'm like, this is kind of weird to me. Like, aren't you all oath bound to each other? Like, don't you know them well enough to know that, like, there's no bullshit here?
Yep.
So, like, why are you so adamant that, like, no, you didn't?
It's hard to get.
You're also living in a castle full of lying, scheming vampires hidden in a library, and you don't think there's a slight possibility that these letters are either intentionally not being delivered to you or just, like, getting lost because no one knows where the fuck you are? That doesn't occur to you? I found Foley super frustrating.
Super frustrating. And of course, he mentions like he has never seen an Alchemirian shield as intricate as Saeris.
No, why would he? First of all, how many of these have you seen?
Apparently dozens.
It was like his grandfather or something.
I know. So he doesn't know shit, and he says that. And then we go back to this idea that I've mentioned to you before, which is, I don't know what it is about these female main characters lately, where it's like, they are the best of the best, and you have to love them, and they're amazing. And it's like, Saeris is like the most amazing alchemist in the world.
Yep.
She found out like 7 hours ago, basically. I'm just like consistently like they're just going back and forth. The only other thing really that I found interesting was that they mentioned something about the alchemist Tria Prima, which is just like the salt, quicksilver, brimstone. So I'm just guessing that's another one of those little drops of like, oh, this might come in handy later in the book. I don't know. I just put that out of the moment. Then, as she is leaving to practice on her runes, she gets attacked by a stargazer. It cuts her, so she bleeds. So if you were worried about the hair,
So exactly my
you
thoughts.
should be fucking worried about the
Exactly
blood
my
now.
thoughts. Mm-hmm.
Bueno, what does she do? She's like, huh, weird.
Well, it cuts her, and then it flies through her essentially, and falls out of the library, and the enchantment is broken. So it cuts her, but it's like now it's a piece of paper. It's not a bird anymore.
Right.
So it can't go back to wherever. But here's my thing. She's just like, okay, I would be like, excuse me, grab that shit, burn it. I'm burning that.
No,
Also,
she just puts it in her
coming
pocket.
back to the library.
She just puts it in her pocket and walks away. And, it's a problem for another day.
Yep.
For a female main character that's scared of nothing.
Yeah, her unbotheredness is crazy to me. Especially because you were a human.
Especially because she doesn't know anything.
You were a human 2 weeks ago. You are in a castle full of vampires that hate you.
Yeah.
And you're their queen. And he fully just told you these things like, somebody could bewitch it essentially to like.
So it makes
grab a
you
piece of hair.
bleed.
So wouldn't you be like, wait, so is somebody trying to do some shit to me? Because that's where my mind would go.
100%. As it should be, because it made you bleed. But hey, she's not worried, so why would we be, right? Sorry. I really cannot stand this. Whatever.
I get
Chapter
it.
23. Okay, to be fair, I'm not going to say that. It is not time yet. Chapter 23.
Chapter 23.
At least we're back.
We're back to Fisher, which is a more palatable read,
Yeah.
surprisingly. Fisher and Carrion find Hayden, so
That's great.
they've accomplished 2 of their goals already. Fisher goes berserk on Guardians after he finds a few girls getting sedated for cleansing day, which is when they essentially get
Yep. Then they lose their shit.
Yeah. But it seems like he's used a substantial amount of magic. So he plunges all of Zilverin into darkness. And when I say he goes apeshit, I mean he goes apeshit.
Yes,
he
does.
starts killing any and every guard. He makes
On the
a
way.
huge scene. Yeah. He's like completely fucks up the air of undercoverness that they were going for, which, by the ways, they're already being looked for by Majra because, they popped through her quicksilver and killed her guards. Yeah. So, I mean,
Jumped off the castle.
not the thing to do. And I get it. You can be triggered. Personally, if my partner ever gets wronged in any kind of way, then I immediately hate whoever's done that to him.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. Sorry.
Sure.
You're on my shit list forever, and I will be mean to you. I'm not going to be cordial.
100%.
I get that, right? But, you just got stung like 20,000 times by a demon, Scorpion. And, like, you don't have any magic left. And, like, you have a timer on when you need to go home. And, like, you just found Hayden. So,
again, coming back to an earlier statement that we said in our last episode, where Kingfisher has been alive for thousands of years, and I just feel like he should know better.
yeah, so here's the thing with that. I agree with you. It's like you have been essentially a general of an army. You've been alive for years. You're a warrior.
And you are in charge.
You should
of
be making better decisions.
You're so hot-headed.
Yeah.
Like, you're so hot-headed. It's okay to be hot-headed. That's okay. I understand that. But in the world of life, you don't typically see a hot-headed person being a good general.
Yeah, you don't see hot-headed people being the best leaders.
Those two things don't exist.
Right, because you need impulse control.
Correct. To be
Which
able.
it seems that he has none.
Right. So, again, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I don't even know any of these characters well enough, but you're telling me that he's amazing and everybody follows him, and then he's doing this, and I'm just like,
amazing
no
where?
sé. And In this, before I actually dive into that part, I do want to take a side thing that Carrion's family died, and that was kind of sad.
Oh, that's right.
The last of the Carrion line,
I know. What was she
Gracia.
posing at?
I think this
His
is
grandma or his
grandmother.
aunt?
His
Okay, yeah, yeah.
grandmother.
Which was sad.
Yeah, and I found it sweet that Kingfisher like hugged him, and he let
Yeah.
himself get
So
hugged.
one thing I have enjoyed about the Kingfisher Carrion journey is the warming up to Carrion.
Yeah. Well, because it doesn't feel forced to me. I feel like every other part of
Yeah,
this
it
book
doesn't.
feels like
It doesn't.
he's
And
cool and he's the best and she's the best and they're
definitely.
together and they're in love. This feels like they don't like you. So maybe that's a good point. Sorry that I cut you off,
Yeah.
but I feel like maybe Callie does enemies to friends okay. No other relationship has improved for
I
me.
think what doing this and making Carrion and Fisher friendly
Yeah.
does is that Carrion is the butt of the joke in the first book
Right?
constantly. Like he's just looked at as this dumbass.
Yep.
And
Like a
mostly
liability.
it's because of Kingfisher's dislike for him. And then Saeris is just like, oh my God, you're so unseriousness for him.
Yep.
And then we find out that he's actually the heir. And what this does is kind of like
Give him.
close that little like, oh, Carrion's a dumbass aspect and open the door for like, here's some depth. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody he loves is dead.
Yeah.
He was raised here as a fae. He's
Yep.
envisioned Zilverin his whole life.
Well,
Zilverin?
Silverian. Oh no, Evelia.
Evelia his whole
life.
life. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. What I'll say is I think that she's done a good job with Carrion so far.
Also, right, like off that thought, I found it really interesting that in the scene where they are getting off, I think the sewers or whatever, Carrion kind of just like jumps up and whatever. And Kingfisher says something along the lines of like, it's funny how like you're able to do this, but I had to help you do that and this and that. And then Carrion turns and he's like, if you act like I'm an idiot, I'm going to act the idiot.
I love that part.
That part was awesome because then he's like,
You
if
treat me like an idiot, I'll act like one.
I act like one, which gives even more depth to this character because it's like he's able to switch up based on what he needs
I've
to
seen
be.
a lot of Carrion that has made me like him even more.
Same. So for me, Carrion is the only tolerable
He's
to
the
likable
star.
character in this book. But whatever. Anyways, so here's the other thing that I found kind of like weird about this part with Kingfisher kind of losing his shit in Silverin. He goes on this killing spree. Carrion stops him basically. He's like, yeah, we need to run away. And Kingfisher states that his magic should have been gone by now because the source felt so far away, but yet it was still there. And then he filled Silverian with shadows. Why does he have so much access?
That's a good question.
Why does he have so much access in a place where there is no magic? Because there's magic and Madra's eating it all.
It could it could be one of two things. I think Madra is a very interesting subject. It's either meant to show how strong he is, or it's meant to show that there is a stronger source of magic in Zilverin. My only problem with that theory is that shouldn't he be able to sense it?
Correct.
So then,
Unless it's another like plot hole. You know what it is? I'm not saying that at this point in the book or overall that there isn't plot holes. There's like character holes.
yeah, I think there's a lot of holes in this book. I think that again, I'm not done, but I think that there are a lot of things that have been thrown at us, very similar to Rebecca Yarros, actually, to just kind of like throw you off or entertain you or provide a conversation in your mind about this thing that kind of are just like useless, don't really get used again, and gets disregarded. And I think that there's a lot of character holes where it's like, Explain.
Explain. But they don't. Not
But
only do
here's
they
the
not
thing.
explain,
Even the explanations that are given, I'm kind of like, I don't care.
it's not good enough. Because I was about to say the same thing. Even the explanations make absolutely no sense to me.
Or like, I can already tell. Like, Renfus is in love with Everlane. I know he is.
Same.
That's the problem there. That's
Yeah.
why he hates Tal.
Tal.
Tal, he's a mystery to me. Explain. So, anyways, that's 23. Then 24, we have the lovely Saeris,
Of course.
where she's in her little
She's in her
alchemy.
little forge, binding her quicksilver and doing her what she does, and then the Hasrax
Making
walks
deals
in.
with the Quicksilver.
Yeah, like constantly, like, please do this, and I'll give you
It'll
my
say,
blood,
I
or
want
I'll
this,
give you my
and she
memory.
forgets it. It
Yeah.
says, give me a memory to forget or something.
Give me a joke. Give me.
And she thinks about giving the memory of her mom being killed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she's like, you know what? Let me not. I might want to not. Which, like, I don't know if I'd want to keep that or throw it away because it's kind of like that's the last memory of my mother.
I feel like I'd have to. I need that. I need to have that closure. I wouldn't want to not know what happened to my mother.
Yeah, that's true. And also, it's also like that's her last living moment. You know, I can't just erase that. So anyways, that happens. She changes her mind and she's like, no, just take this memory instead, right? And then who walks into the forge?
The Hasrax.
Which interesting creature. It's one
It
of the.
looks very creepy in my head.
I don't even know how to picture it.
It just looks kind of like, to me, looks like an alien.
It's one of the horsemen, right? Like, what are they called? The lords or whatever?
The Lords of Midnight. So it's
So powerful and important. It's the one that Malcolm used to make a deal with.
yearly.
Yes, yearly. That what she thought that the deal was not what it was.
Observe. Yeah.
She thought that
it was just to observe her court.
yes.
But now he shares kind of like,
Yes, that's the deal, but it's in exchange for something.
yeah,
For
one
Malcolm
favor.
at the time, and now Saeris. So he
one
essentially
favor a
comes.
year.
Yeah, he essentially comes to strike that deal with her. The one that he had with Malcolm, which is one favor a year from Harax in exchange to let it stay and observe. Harax tells Saeris that she is practicing blood magic with Quicksilver and she needs to learn to do it differently, which is interesting because this is the first time that we get somebody who's kind of like, you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
To the Quicksilver
Saeris.
situation because the Quicksilver is a mystery to all of us.
To all of us.
So as far as we know, that is how you forge Quicksilver. Now, through Harax, we find out you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, like, why would you give a piece of yourself? It's interesting the way that it said it. It's like, yeah, you're going to continue this until your entire minds are just holes.
Yes, exactly. I thought that was such a good point.
That was such a great way to look at it.
That's actually really true.
Yeah. Which then makes me think, like, you didn't think about this, Saeris? Oh, you're just going to give. And you have thousands of rings to make? Yay. She's an idiot. All right.
Yeah,
anyways.
but honestly, like, I didn't really think about that either. I was always very, like, the Quicksilver is shady. I don't trust it. But
I did when, well, you want to know what's hilarious? I thought about it for the first time when they asked Lorith for that song. And I was like, okay, van a tener que buscar a fucking orchestra. What do they have to make a fucking song every time the Quicksilver needs to bind to something? I'm like, this is the best way, guys.
what freaked me out about that was that the song was literally gone from the world.
mind.
Yeah, from existence. And I was like, that's a kind of super scary thing
that
to deal with.
Not even just like, that's just, it kind of transcends the world. So, yeah. I knew that was going to be a problem because she's dumb. But anyways, then I think that the other perspective with Saeris and the Hazrax, why is she so rude? Right off the bat, why is she so rude? You're not hot shit. You're the queen. It's a weird creature, but it's a lord of midnight.
It's older than everything.
It gives me that she has zero respect for the blood court, which is fine. You hate them, but you are their queen.
You know what's funny though? It's that you hate them because your boyfriend hates them. You have no experience here.
No, and you know what I find hilarious? I don't know at what point. This is not a spoiler for any other chapter because it's what it is. I can't remember what chapter it is, but I remember reading, when I became queen of the court or whatever, everybody put in their vote on what to do with it. Lorith was like, kill them. Danya, no sé qué dijo. I was the only one that was like, I really want to see if they can be a redemption.
But you're doing nothing to make that happen.
So if you truly feel that way, why can't you just be neutral at best? She's rude.
Why can't you try to be neutral?
And the thing is that this thing, I don't know if it's a he or a she, whatever, it's an it. Mm-hmm. This thing comes in, the Hazrax, and it obviously looks scary. We have no idea what this creature is. He's the only one of its kind. Just be respectful. Just be like, I don't like you. Or just be like, oh, uncomfortable. You can be uncomfortable. That's fine. But she's rude.
She treats it like it's inconveniencing her, which she's trying to make stuff. So, like, I guess you could argue that point that, like, well, she's busy. But here's my thing is that they have said that this thing is the oldest thing in Evelia. It's like one of a kind. It is super
It's older
ancient.
than anybody knows.
And it's fucking menacing. It looks scary. Yeah. So if this thing like glides into the room that I'm in, it'll be a cold day in hell before I start antagonizing it.
Yeah. And also another evidence of Saeris being an idiot. If all of those things are true, which is what we know of the story, right? Why wouldn't you be like, hey, do you know anything about the alchemists?
Why wouldn't you ask a million questions?
Hey, like, can you point me in the right direction?
Mm-hmm. Hey, how do you stop the rot?
Hey, by the way, there's a rune I need to seal. Have you ever heard of that? It's burning me alive. What the fuck is wrong with this
She's just
girl?
like, okay, get out. Are you done? Leave. Okay, are we done here? Go away.
So again, it's just, I don't even know why I don't have the red mic, but whatever. Anyways, so this bothers me, but this continues on with this idea of there's two things that the Hazrak says that, are interesting to me. That he won't tell her anything that he knows because there's something else in play. So I'm like, okay, so there's like a plot thing going on here. The other thing that he says, or she or it, does Kingfisher know that he needs to be wary of new faces? And I was like,
Right. But so this is what I mean by a lot of things are mentioned and not used. Not that I don't even know if that's a factor yet.
Right. No, I know.
But I'm just saying, like, this is what would happen while I was reading is that I would read. This was very interesting to me, the Hazrak, whatever, meeting with her, because I was interested in it. But then it drops a nugget, and then I'm like, this is interesting. So what does that mean? Then we go to the next chapter. Something completely different is happening because it's Kingfisher and Carrion. Then we come back to Saeris. Nothing, basically the Hazrak gets wiped from her memory.
Yeah.
That conversation. There's no follow-up. There's no, thought of it. There's no, what the fuck
at least not within the next 10 chapters.
So this is why with the book I started to get not frustrated, but just kind of like, okay, because every chapter it was interesting and entertaining, but for a new reason. And I was like, okay, I'm losing track of all the things that I need to remember.
Yeah.
I'm losing track of all of the follow-ups that need to be done.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I felt like I needed to go back and do my own notes because I felt like there was things that I was forgetting. And by the way, just a little bit of a side note. usually when we're not doing like an in-depth recap, we just kind of write like a sentence of like,
Yeah.
oh, this happened. Whatever, this will remind me of something that annoys me. I have paragraphs on top of paragraphs of things that I don't know where they're going to lead to, which is fine. I'm halfway through the book. But there's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean, you know? And then this other thing that he says, I keep saying he. I'm just going to think it's a he. But the Hazraks go, what is his power? Mine is the power to put out a sun, the power to untether gravity. This is interesting because gravity was something that they spoke about with the gods. Whatever the fuck that means. I even wrote that. I was like, whatever the fuck that means. His body is a vessel and his mind is very old. So
Would that
is
not
that,
make you be like, take a seat. Let's talk.
let's talk. Let me bring some tea.
Give me some info.
No, she's like, can you leave?
Yeah, she's like, okay, great. Are we done here? Bye. I'm busy. That drives me insane with her because it's like, this is a crucial moment for you, and you're literally shutting it down.
Yep.
This is a
And
moment
not only
where you
that,
should be asking questions, where you should be like
what
interested.
does that mean? Yeah.
This is a moment for you to be able to gain. Oh, I'm like super far from the mic. Sorry. This is a moment for you to be able to gain some insight on her and like, or like on the world and like the court and Malcolm. What the fuck was Malcolm doing? And like just on the raw and on being an alchemist and
if
like,
you've been watching Malcolm for thousands of years, hey, do you know what Madra is?
and Madra and Belicon, like this is your
What was
opportunity
the point of the
to
fake
gain
war?
some heavy insight, and you're like, bye, leave.
Yeah. And not only that, but this is another thing that happens in this chapter that you hated in earlier chapters, which is she enters yet another what's it called, deal.
Oh my God.
Whatever.
Yes. So that pissed me off.
Yeah.
How quickly she was like,
Yeah, sure,
okay,
whatever,
that's
come
fine.
observe me.
Are you going to leave?
Yeah,
And then she's
sure,
like,
you can observe me.
I need to be smart about this. And she's like,
We
I
need
get to renew
it
this every year. Please. Do you understand the amount of footnotes, index pages,
Of course.
glossary research that my deals would come with?
100%.
Because I'd be like, you are going to have such a hard time finding a way to like make this bite me in the butt.
Correct. But no, she's like, yeah, sure, just observe me, then like whatever. It's like, why isn't there even a question of like, hey, by the way, how come you want to spend all your time observing the court? Why? It's like, oh my God, it's just ridiculous to me. But anyways, anything else for you on chapter 24?
No, I found this like such a letdown.
Yeah.
That was it for me. I thought that we could have learned a lot from Hazrak. I was really interested in hearing him it, and then she just basically shoos him away. It sucked.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I was losing faith around 20 with the sex scene in the cabin and the blood. Sorry, I keep bringing it up. I was just like very like unnecessarily grossed out by it.
Yeah.
And 24 was when we're like, when I was like, okay. And then we enter chapter 25, and this is kind of, it's a very quick chapter, I think, in my opinion, of like importance. Just Hayden brings Kingfisher and Carrie into Elroy's forge because they're running away from the guards. And then Elroy is obviously not happy. But we find out real quick that Elroy actually knew everything.
Yeah.
About like the Fae.
That was
and
interesting.
The Kingfisher and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And Carrion seems very hurt by this. He was like, you couldn't have told me. You know, like I needed someone. And Elroy was like, no, you had the Carrions and I had to deal with Saeris. Like, you know?
Yeah. And he also says, he was like, from generation to generation, we've passed down the secret of you. Like we've all known in my family.
And not only were they entrusted with the secret, but they were metal workers that would add more and more quicksilver.
Yeah. So what they would
into
do is
the largest pool that Kingfisher has ever seen under the forge.
So what they would do is pull the quicksilver out of the metals.
Yeah.
The silver, I guess, that they would find. And they threw all the quicksilver like in a pile. And then he says
It
that
made a pool.
one day Saeris gets arrested and something happens and suddenly the Quicksilver melted
Well,
into a
no,
pool.
and he knew that she must have gotten a hold of Solus.
Yeah,
which is the God sword.
She pulled that sword out, and then this Quicksilver all melted into a pool, and then Kingfisher says it's the largest Quicksilver pool he's ever seen.
Yep.
Which this was interesting. I liked seeing this part. It also started to feel a little drawn out to me.
Yeah.
But I was very intrigued by the fact that Elroy was kind of like,
I know.
This is like a generational thing. Like we've all been known about you, Carrion.
And Carrion was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So that's pretty much that one.
Yeah.
Then we go back to Saeris.
Back to
Great.
Saeris.
Yay. Wonderful.
Okay, so Saeris is...
You're not going to catch me with a pink mic after this episode. You're just not. I'm actually surprised. This has been a long time, so maybe our new watchers don't know, but this is usually my mic, and it's pink.
Yeah.
Carla's is kind of bedazzled in black, purplish.
Yeah.
Like dragon scale.
Blue, purple.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dark. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And we hold a red mic for the moment where I fucking hate this.
Yeah. When
And
we're
that
like
one
super
hasn't
pissed
come out
or upset
since
about something.
I last spoke about Quicksilver. I had
Yeah.
a red mic at Quicksilver.
That's when you first used the little red mic. And
I haven't used it since.
She's going to have to make another appearance.
And I'm shocked that I put a little red here because I thought I was kind of mad at this, like, 21 to 30. But as I'm going through it, I'm like, I'm madder and madder and madder.
Yeah.
And I should have just gotten the red mic. But, sorry.
I think that
26.
at this point you weren't super mad yet. I just think... Sorry. I think it makes sense that you have the pink mic because at this point I don't think you were super mad yet. I just think that you're already there. So as you're rereading this, essentially, like you're just ramping
Maybe.
up.
But 26 was really bad. But go ahead.
26 was bad. So Saeris is she hears the Quicksilver. It's talking to her, and she
Gets
brilliant
attacked
genius.
by her runes. Again. That's
Yeah.
also,
Yeah, and then the brilliant genius decides to step into the Quicksilver without any relics. And then they talk. The Quicksilver basically challenges her, calls her a half-breed, and wants to know how far she'll go to prevent the darkness from swallowing them whole, which you can assume is the rot.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I interpreted.
Yeah.
The Quicksilver is pleased when she draws a line at sacrificing someone she loves, which I found this so stupid because it's like...
Such a cliche.
It's so cliche, and also...
So you would die and you would kill people, but you won't give up your meat. Okay.
Right. So like
Here.
the whole universe, which listen, can't imagine that situation.
Same.
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I would be like, well,
Correct.
I'll make the better sacrifice.
I'm not giving up the person I love.
No, me
Fair.
neither. But I'm also not pretending to be this
A
like
killer.
hero. I'm also not acting like as a queen. I know my place. My place is with the
Not
common
here.
folk. Okay. It's not over here as the queen of a vampire court.
Yep.
Who has literally made it her and her mates like destiny and mission to stop the rot from spreading.
Yep.
When you have a role like that, you don't get to be selfish anymore.
Correct.
When you decide like I'm going to accept this fate, this is
Yep.
who I'm going to be, you lose the ability to be
Oh, Kingfisher, no.
selective with
Yeah.
how far you're willing to go.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, yeah, the Quicksilver's pleased when she draws a line, which I found that so stupid and corny. And it tells her, the pathway is clear. Receive this gift, all in fear and trembling. In the end, it will be your end. And then it flings her out of the Quicksilver.
Yeah.
That last line was interesting to me. In the end, it will be your end. The gifts that he's giving her, which you can assume has something to do with what, her runes or something?
The ability to...
The ability to talk to Quicksilver.
The ability to mold the Quicksilver as needed based on her own ability, not necessarily having to do bargains with it.
Interesting.
I literally wrote, whatever. Like right after that
it
line.
is whatever, but I also think it's like, okay, so is this going to be another thing where like it doesn't matter, or is this actually going to be a problem, right? Like,
Yeah.
we know that alchemists in the past ended up going crazy at some point.
Yep.
And it was because so long talking to the Quicksilver, you just can't help it. So is that kind of what this is alluding to? Is it alluding to a bigger mystery? Like, is it basically saying, like, you've now accepted the fate of an alchemist, which is, this will be the end of you. The Quicksilver will be the end of you, the same way that the Quicksilver was the end of so many more alchemists.
Yeah. To me, this is, earlier when you were like, oh, are we gonna come back around with this one? I read it, I wrote it as a note, and then I was like, I'm not gonna know anything about this. Like, I just felt like it's just another one of those little things.
It could be. I just think
Yeah.
it's interesting that we've gotten like 2 prophecies already. One from the Demon King, and then one from the Quicksilver.
Yeah. So, I mean, after she very much plunges into the Quicksilver with 0 protection and now she gets her way again, great. We move on to chapter 27.
0 protection.
0. Back to Kingfisher. Really, it's kind of like they're still kind of talking about the same things. The only other thing that I found interesting here was that Kingfisher finds out that Elroy knew about Solus, right? And he was like, "But how did you know?" And then he's like, "No, I never actually saw the sword, but there was like drawings." And Kingfisher was very like, "Show me." And I'm like, "Why does he like? He knows what that sword looks like. Why does he care?" And then I thought like, "Oh, he wants to know if like his dad is in the picture or something."
Oh, that's sweet. Head. That's not at all what I thought.
Or like, oh, what did you think?
Well,
that's what I assumed. Like, why would he be so interested in seeing these drawings that Elroy might have of this sword? If he already knows what the sword looks like. Like, it's back in wherever Saeris is.
I thought maybe it was just, I don't know. I thought it was maybe like Kingfisher investigating or being suspicious. I didn't think that he was expecting... Okay. I didn't think he was expecting to see a picture of his dad or a drawing of his dad, but I think
Maybe
he expected...
important.
I think he expected to find more information with the, like, drawing. Like, where did you get this? How did this come about? But here's... I will say, I got pissed this chapter because... So, Elroy provides Kingfisher with all this context, right?
Yeah.
He says that his family had written teachings of all they know of the Fae, Solus, etc. And it seems like Elroy really knows what happened in Zilverin and why Carrion was brought over and that he was a part of protecting him. So why the fuck did Fisher not ask any questions about his father?
Yeah.
So you're telling me Carrion was saved, right? And this family line has continuously passed down the story of Carrion, what happened, what his purpose is, and what their purpose is. And Carrion, let's remember, was delivered to Zilverin via Kingfisher's father. So why are you not like, have you heard of a guy named, whatever his dad's name is, I forget.
Yeah.
Have you heard of him? What happened to him? Where is he? Like, why is this not... You can assume that Madra killed him. But, like, wouldn't you want the closure?
Of course. But it just keeps giving these characters don't have critical thinking skills. Don't have curiosity.
We've seen already with Fisher that when one of his parents gets brought up, he gets, like... He avoids it. Yeah. Because when Saeris is like... Adina. And then Fisher's like, that's my mom's name. And she tells him everything. At the end of it, he's like, okay, we need to fix your relic thing, like, blah, blah, blah. He really doesn't make many comments. Doesn't ask about his mom. Doesn't talk about his mom. So it's a theme that we're seeing, like, happened with his mom is happening now with his dad.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just pissed me off because I was like, if I was you and you've been wondering for so long what happened to your dad, why wouldn't you ask questions?
Exactly. I completely agree. And not only that, but then he goes into this idea of you don't ask any questions about your dad. You don't ask any questions about how he knows about this sword. You don't ask any questions as to, like, why there's a huge, like, pool of Quicksilver that no one has known about, which is powerful. I'm just like, but anyways,
Yeah, there's a lot of
this is another
things.
part that I was annoyed by.
Okay.
The Quicksilver and Kingfisher. Kingfisher at one point goes like, I can't say I totally hate the Quicksilver. I do also love it because it gave me Saeris. Who was
Okay.
going crazy with the
Saeris
Quicksilver and was
is
going
not
to
in the
die
room with
crazy?
us, sir.
But it just gives me, again, I know we've talked about this and we're going to continue talking about this. This relationship is so forced.
I agree.
The Quicksilver has been torturing you for decades. And now you're like, but I also love it because it gave me series. Get so for real.
I agree with you.
Get so for
It is.
real. So again, it's like, now you love the Quicksilver. It's like,
Yeah,
again,
I found that stupid
forced
too.
relationship, whatever.
I agree with that. I did find interesting what Elroy was saying about how his father started to go crazy from working
with
with
the
the
demon
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
That was just crazy to me because I was like, so even though he's
Even
a
just
human
forging it,
and
yeah.
he's just forging it and it's not like active or anything, it's still like it still has
A
the
thing.
capacity to drive you insane.
Yep.
And then it's so textbook because he says that he started hearing voices and that accidentally he burned the papers that
Yep.
had been passed down through generations.
Yep.
So Elroy burned the remaining ones after he met Saeris because he was afraid of what could happen if the Guardians found it, and then put two and two together between Saeris, who had an affinity for magic already,
Yep.
and these papers. So yeah, I thought this chapter was interesting in terms of Elroy because it kind of like pulled the veil back,
Yeah.
or pulled the curtain back and let you see something that I wasn't expecting for
Yeah.
Elroy.
That's true. And then the only other thing that happens is the Quicksilver pool turns on, which they assume
Yeah.
is Saeris. So Kingfisher's like, gotta go.
Yeah, he like dives in that shit.
Yeah. So then he brings Carrie and Hayden with him. On the other end of the spectrum in this world building, let's move back to Saeris. And Saeris wakes up to being like basically pushed out of the Quicksilver, and she is basically standing with Aureus, which is Belicon's assistant.
Yep.
And this part did make me laugh when Saeris was like, she calls Aureus as an anemic looking fucker. That was funny. I was like, yeah, I can see that. I can like picture that. But this whole chapter really long, like short, like long. Sorry, this whole chapter, long story short, is him like basically telling her like, oh, come bind yourself
Yeah.
to Belicon, and all we want is Everlane and your mate dead.
Yeah.
And you can live in like beautiful dresses.
Is essentially like I think like a last ditch effort to get the alchemist back.
Yeah.
With some armed guards.
Yeah. And she's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And she, because now that she has full control of all her runes, she forms the God sword into two short swords so
Yeah.
that she can manipulate them better.
Something important to mention though, they pull out these null blades,
Yes.
which like you can infer what a null blade is, but like what is that?
Yeah, it's just, it feels like a type of, it's not a metal. It's a type of material that she can't
She can't
control.
she can't bend it to her will.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, you were saying that she pulls out this God sword and then
This is
essentially
funny
pulls it
because-
apart to make it a double sword.
Yeah, and right before she does that, and Chismoso, Aureus was like, oh, there's rats in the blood court that snicker at the fact that you can't even wield your own, like, sword. And then she's like, really? And then she does the two swords and whatever. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of funny.
it's cool, but it's because it's Saeris, and I'm like, of course.
I mean, it's funny to me, but I'm like, yeah, of course you can do that all of a sudden with absolutely no training, and you have all of that in you. Okay, great. They start fighting. This part, I just want to say this one. Okay. Throughout the fight, she is fighting them and she's winning, whatever.
Yeah.
Kingfisher jumps back in and Saeris tells him to back down, right? This is the thing about this. When you enter your mate fighting 5 guards, do you ask, hey, do you need backup?
The way
No,
that a
you
knife would go
jump
straight
in,
through
correct.
the first guard
Yeah.
that I see. But so this is one of those moments where I'm like, this is so clearly
The guy lets her
like
fight her own battles.
this is so
Trope.
clearly trying to be like, I let her be independent. Do you? Because in the
Kingfisher.
first book, you had her oath bound and you forced her to do a whole bunch of shit she didn't want to do.
Yep.
So-
Kingfisher is such a great guy because he knows she can handle herself.
Listen, I have full confidence that my husband can handle himself, but if I see like some guy
Yeah.
holding a knife to his throat and I can throw anything at him to stop that, I will. You know,
Correct.
like
Yep.
I thought that was so stupid.
Yeah.
I do want to mention it now that Saeris has sealed her alchemic rune. She mentions how she can use her magic, and she can use the quicksilver in 2 different ways. One of them being splitting the sword in 2, which we talked
Yes.
about, and the other being closing the quicksilver in a different way than before. And then she also uses the quicksilver to make a shield. No, wait, she uses
Yep.
her magic to make a shield.
Yep.
Okay, so she uses her magic to make a shield, which is interesting because as far as we can see, each person has specific types of magic, and then they have just like general magic.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if the shield is like a specific type of magic that she's able to wield.
It's the best shield.
Of course. Right. Why wouldn't it be? So yeah, I just wanted to mention that
Yeah.
she's got 2 new skills with the quicksilver.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, let's see where it leads us.
I mean, I'm not saying
The only other
anything.
thing, yeah,
It is a cool concept. It's just that it's like, of course, Saeris.
of course, series. Yeah, I know. The only other thing that I do want to mention, which is interesting, is that Aureus does kind of get under her skin when he reminds her that all of her friends are oath bound to Belicon. So
that makes her
Kingfisher,
be like, what
Lorith,
do you mean?
Renfis, yeah, and then he's like, yeah, I mean, essentially you're here protected by your blood court wards, but what makes you think that if you don't come for us or we don't meet on a battlefield, basically, like half your army is going to be like, hey, you know? So
That was a good
interesting.
point. It
Yeah.
was very interesting because I don't know if we've explored what oathbound like
Means. All that means is Lorith had explained to her that they swore fealty to the Winter Palace.
Right,
And like,
but what is the like?
Yeah,
what
we
does that
don't know.
entail? You know,
Yeah.
so that was interesting. That he even brought it up. But yeah, Odious is
it's basically finished. Like when Kingfisher, when she like, tells him to back down and she has him cornered or whatever. Fisher moves to kill Aureus and Saeris stops him because she's like, he needs to go back to Belicon and show what
this was so
Saeris is
stupid to me.
capable of.
I would send his head back. Is what I would do.
Correct.
This
And
was
then
so stupid
she
to me, and
goes-
so clearly Saeris trying to be like merciful.
No, and then she goes, we aren't like them. Yeah, what are you like? We haven't
okay.
found it out. Who are you?
I remember that line.
We
I found
aren't
that
like
so annoying
them.
because it's like, Saeris, this is war.
Yeah. And then the truly annoying part, to put the cherry on top of that stupid ass line, Kingfisher.
Can I just? We're not like them, right? Okay. I just found out Belicon sent my father to his death and stole my mother from him, and like my mother died giving birth to his heir. I'm like him.
Yeah.
I can be like him. You know why?
Correct.
Because I have a personal fucking problem with him.
Vendetta. Correct.
So, no. I'm chopping this guy's head off and I'm chucking it through the quicksilver.
Correct.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I
but
just wanted to mention that because I think it's so
1,000%.
sensitive.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We aren't like them. Bitch,
You've
you
been
got
here for a month.
7 days.
You're not like them. I've been here forever. He's humiliated me. He destroyed my family. He took all my money. He took my father's wealth.
Yep.
He fucking sent my father into a trap where he's potentially dead.
Dead.
I haven't seen him. He literally is the reason that my mom is dead because...
And that I've been plagued by the Quicksilver my entire life.
So,
Yeah.
no, you're not like them. I am.
Exactly.
Chop and throw.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say that because
But
that
I'm
part really
glad
pissed
that
me
you
off.
said that because that follows with my perfectly placed line. She says, we aren't like them. Carla gives us the best reason why we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kingfisher goes, "You should be grateful. I wouldn't have shown such strength of character." This is what I mean, Carla. Like this couple of lines on at the end of this like episode chapters where I'm like, yes, I can enjoy some of Callie's writings, but this is just
This was corny, yes.
this is giving corny. This is giving, I don't know, I keep using the word annoying. I might need to look for synonyms.
I get what you're saying. It's true. That was really dumb to me. Because it's like, and the thing is too, when has your love flourished? Like, you guys have not given us any longing, tension. Like,
No,
you know,
I
like
like this
there was
about
tension,
you.
but it just like,
No,
you haven't.
I wouldn't call it well.
I mean, there was tension in the first book.
Yeah, like in the first few chapters.
Yeah,
maybe.
but still, you know, I can't sit here and really be like, there was no tension. I'm sure if you read it in your own way, where you don't, when you're not bothered by everything going on in this book, there is tension. But for you and I, who are annoyed, no. And I also just don't feel like the relationship has been worked on. Like, you can't just add 5 sex scenes and then
What
call
do you
that
know about
working on the
me?
relationship.
Like, what do you know about me? Do you know that I like this?
He's like, I would do anything for you. I would die for you. It's like, what's my middle name?
Yeah.
What color are my eyes? Like, you know, I'm kidding.
No, but
I know
for
he knows her
real.
eye color, but I'm just
I
saying,
mean,
like, you know nothing of me.
We're assuming that too, though. Does he? Does he know?
I just feel like this is so stupid, the way that they're being portrayed as like these
In love.
like
Beautiful,
literal
yeah.
world-ending love, and it's like, I haven't seen that. You guys went from hating each other to having sex to being mated.
Correct.
There has not been like,
Any follow through.
I don't know, like
anything.
It's just like with Akatar, it was so different, where Rysand was like an asshole, but like he was showing her like grace and giving her this and giving her that and like helping her
Yep.
learn how to read, and then like
Yep.
forcing her to train with him, which made her hate him even more.
Yep.
But he did it for her own good, and he would taunt her throughout it to like push her to do it. And it's like, you see this progression of like their relationship.
Yeah.
And so when they finally do get together, it's like you're kicking your feet and giggling. And with this, you're just like,
Yeah.
we hate each other, we had sex, we're together. And it's like,
Yeah. And we will do anything for each other because we're like the most in love
don't you
couple
know, Saeris,
ever.
that I'd do anything for you? Like, no, I don't. I don't know that.
I know.
So yeah, anyways, that part was really annoying. I agree.
Just like. So, anyways, we're moving on to chapter 29, which does not get any better.
Yeah.
So in this whole, again, I'm sorry, I really am going to try to be a little bit more matter of fact for the next episode. Maybe, I don't know, I'll think about it. But I'm just continuously like the interaction that Saeris has with Archer just gives the, I'm just a normal girl, relate to me, call me by my name. What's the point of that? I don't know why we're trying to build up that relationship. It's just kind of
Honestly,
unnecessary.
I feel like Archer's like, I'm like, I know you're here to create wholesome memories and as a buffer, but like, I'm just like, I don't care about you. He actually kind of annoys me.
At this point, he's annoying me. He's like, no, because there's a way to do
He's
things
just very
in this
intense,
court.
and everything is like such a big deal to him that I'd just be like, I cannot with your little pebble to like Kingfisher. I'd be like, please keep him away from me. He's like really intense.
Yeah, but no, but Saeris is like, let's be friends, like best friends.
I can't
Whatever.
with her.
Then she enters the room, and Kingfisher's like, do you know how incredible you are for taking 5 guards?
This is just this. Okay, so here is where I started to be like, I'm checking out. Like,
Yeah. And then again, sex.
chapter
Please.
28, 29, 30. This is where I started to fall off.
Yep.
These are the chapters where I was like, okay, I'm not entertained anymore.
I am annoyed constantly.
Like, there's always something happening, but I'm not like excited.
It's not I'll be honest, and I said this in our last chapter. I don't think I was ever enthralled from the very beginning, but 1 through 10
Okay.
caught my attention.
Yeah.
The Silverian chapters with Kingfisher were
Those were fun. Yeah, I agree with that.
right? Like 17, 19, I think
I
it
found
was.
it engaging in
Yeah.
the beginning.
Okay. Yes. I kept wanting to read.
Yes, I wanted to see what was going to happen
Around
next.
29, I was like, oh man, I've got half this book to go and I have to push myself to do this because I don't know how to DNF books.
I know. Right about here in 28, 29, 30, that's when I started to be like, okay, where are we going to go now? What's next? Because it's like all of these little obstacles come, right? And then like they'll knock it down or they'll be like, oh, this is a point of interest. Let's keep this in our back pocket.
Yep.
And then that gets derailed completely because now this super important thing that has nothing to do with that information is happening. So now that's where our attention is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then
this is
added
where I
another
started to
sex
fall
scene.
off. Oh my God, yeah. So another sex scene.
They're going to think we're like, I don't know.
I know that
nuns.
we're like averse to, and I think we've talked about it, but if you guys haven't seen any of our other content talking about it,
Yeah, we're not against it.
No, it's just that, and I know that there's an audience for it, so I don't want to diss that either. And if that's what you like, then I think that this book, as long as, because it's also fantasy, as long as you're also into romantasy, this is a good book. It does have a lot of smut in it. But for me, like, I just get very, like, it's overkill to me.
Suffocated with it.
Yeah, I get very,
same.
like, I get it after a certain point, you know?
Yeah. And like Carla said, I don't think that there's anything wrong with those that enjoy that, right? Like, I feel like that's almost like like, I saw it the other day on TikTok. Was that, I don't remember what it was, but it said something like, there's a difference between readers that like 50-50, like plot 50%, romance or smut 50%. Carla and I are way more like we need like 75-80 plot. And like if there is romance, it is there, but we don't need it.
I like romance in my books, but
I don't mind it.
romance?
Yeah, like okay, I like it. But I don't know why. Like for me, the romance is like the falling in love with the character, not so much like the sex of the character.
Okay, so what I mean is like when there are two characters that fall in love in a book and it's fantasy, I do enjoy that. I can read a fantasy book and thoroughly enjoy it and love it and it not be a romantasy.
Yep.
But when there is romance, it's like a bonus for me where I'm like, yay, this adds to the book.
Yeah,
This is another reason why I like it. But after you have sex once or twice in the book, I'm like, how many more times are we going to do this? I get the point. You guys essentially are going to continue doing the same thing in different pages, in different positions, in different like language.
A side note to this, like that's how I felt with the novella of Akatar. I was like, but whatever. That's not the point. But anyways, then we move on. I think that's it for. Oh, you know what's interesting? Actually, we did interesting because whatever we had something, but we do have a little bit more information on the oath bound thing in this chapter.
She asks him about it.
She asked him. He's like, "Oh no, you don't have to worry about it because if we're in Kalish or we're in Amondriath, like these words don't let him like control me."
Right, but I do have to worry about it because if we're on a battlefield face to face, what are you gonna fucking do?
And he's like, "Oh, he has to be physically present."
Right. So I do need to worry about it because this is a war and Bellicron's also not an idiot. So
yes, and he kind of brushes this off like, don't worry about it. Like,
of course. So
in chapter 30, which is the last chapter we're going to cover today. And Everlane wakes up and it's not truly there and someone's hurting her and it's like a dark hand hovering over her and everybody's freaking out and Telena's like, I feel a shadow or something pressing down on her. Of course, Saeris goes up to Everlane and touches her and she's like, oh yeah, there's definitely a shadow here. How will she know? We don't really know, but she knew. That just continues. I don't know. Kingfisher also shows very avoidant. Like as soon as that episode's over, he like just leaves. We don't know what the hell that's about. The only other thing that I remember happening in this is Saeris goes back to Montrieth and is walking to find Teledeus, which we haven't heard about in these entire 10 chapters, and runs into Fisher. And she notices that Carrion isn't carrying his sword, Simon. And Carrion goes, oh, haha, don't worry about that. But in my head, I'm like, I am worried. Why don't you have your god's sword? And Saeris, in true Saeris fashion, is like, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, of course. Never asks the question.
Never
doesn't
asks
care.
anything.
Idiot.
Yep. And then the only other thing is that she has a run-in with Sylvena, which is a bitch as well. And really just goes back and forth with her until she realizes that she is a midnight lord of midnight or whatever. But she's the keeper of missives and is in charge of all communication in and out of Amontrieth. And we find out that all the letters the pack sent Foley never arrived because she had been keeping him from him because he wasn't part of the court.
Yeah.
So she's like, go give it to him right now. And then that's it. Teledeus comes out in an orgy. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, basically that's how it ends. She's like, her and Zovena are just like going at it really, which is so stupid. Because at that point, if I was her, I'd be like, okay, so you know what? I command you to cut out your own tongue. Like, I would be like, you're going to play this shit with me, but Saeris has this fucking thing where she's like, no, I'm going to make you respect me. Yeah, I'm going to make you see. And it's like, girl, you can't make certain people see anything, especially not you, who's a human or was a human 2 weeks ago, and Zovena, who's been alive for however many years.
Forever.
So,
Which I'm just like,
yeah,
again, another pointless interaction.
they just have this stupid back and forth, and then they're right in front of Tal's door because Fisher had told her, like, hey, go get Tal. And he opens the door, and he is naked and covered in blood with a boner.
Great.
And that's how the chapter ends. So that's chapters 21 to 30. Lots happened here.
Yep.
Very interesting. I feel like we kind of already did the outro in the beginning, but at this point, I'm getting tired of it.
We're getting a little tired, guys.
Yeah, it's becoming a little redundant. It's
Where are you guys at? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts. I don't know if we're being harsh or if it's maybe just not like hitting
for us.
I feel
Maybe
like Brimstone has gotten critiques. I don't know. I've tried to stay away from chatter because I don't want any spoilers. So if you guys feel any type of way about Brimstone, if you think that there's the general consensus is like, yeah, this book was not great, or maybe at this point you guys felt like the book wasn't great,
or maybe you do think that we're being too harsh. Let us know. We can argue.
Give us your perspective. I mean,
we can argue.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, we
Happily.
can argue about everything.
But this is a good episode, I feel, because I feel like we've really explained why we're a little bit like, okay.
We're kind of leading you into our frustrations.
Yeah, with evidence. I'm not just sitting here being like, Brimstone sucks because well,
I just feel like we're building it up too, where it's like you're seeing where we're coming from, so that when we're venting, you're like, yeah, they talked about that last time.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know where we're gonna go from here. We are obviously farther along, but maybe not that farther along. The next episode, we're gonna focus on 31 to 40.
Yes.
So I don't know. I guess I don't know if this, at this point in the book, I don't know if the book can be redeemable for it to be a great book for me. But I think it can be okay.
At this point in the book, for me, it could still be great.
Okay.
I'm getting fatigued.
I'm getting fatigued, and this is just the way that Saeris is.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't have a lot of hope for it to be a great book.
Yeah.
Unless, Carrion comes and saves the day, basically.
Yeah. I didn't hate Quicksilver the way you did, so I'm optimistic that maybe I'll end this book with like, you know what? Because right now I'm not like this is a bad read. I'm just like, it's entertaining, but there's a lot of things that are frustrating.
I'm getting bored in. Yeah.
I'm just getting bored with certain things
Yeah.
that keep happening.
The themes are not like plotting for me.
Yeah, it's not as exciting or entertaining as it was in the beginning. And we are on in this recap, we're on chapter 30. So
Yeah.
there's still 20 more chapters to go. It's not looking good.
It's not for me. And I've always been kind of like, when I first read Quicksilver, it got a red mic from me. When we did the recap before Brimstone came out, I was like, okay, it's not that bad. Maybe I was being harsh.
Mm-hmm.
So when I entered this book, I was like, okay, let me take both extremes. When I first hated Quicksilver and when I reread it and I'm like, oh, like it's okay, fine.
Yeah.
And when I'm reading Brimstone, I try my best to keep both perspective where I'm like, okay, I can already get annoyed enough at her plotting that I can go to hate really quickly.
Yeah.
So let me be more like less judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm annoyed. I don't know. So we'll see. But anyways, thank you for watching.
Thanks for
And
watching. Stay tuned.
next episode will be chapters 31 to 40.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.